Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at energy fuels. It is time for another update and we have broken the last level of support we had for direct continuation to higher prices within this movement to the upside directly. Now I want to be directly clear, it is still possible to extend to higher prices, but that would have been the more likely structure to succeed in building this next move to the upside. So you may be wondering whether it is a good idea for this stock to still be a part of your portfolio. And while I cannot answer that for you directly, I can provide the relevant levels to watch out for that would support your decision. But before we go into those details, I want to go quickly through the large time frame for any of you who might be new to provide the full context. So on this chart we have been tracking two main scenarios. Within both of them, we have been looking to build a 5-wave pattern in this movement, either within a double 1-2-1-2 setup or within a larger ABC structure where we actually even have a couple of options for that, but this is not the time to actually discuss them. We have provided the full context across many of our videos, and it's really an unfavorable structure, but this is the reality. This 5-wave move to the upside has been the likely portion of this uptrend, yeah? We identified an initial 5-wave move to the upside, we had a 3-wave correction into the support zone, and we expected with high probability continuation to even higher prices within at least another 5-wave move to the upside. But that is at the very least. The least has occurred, further extensions are basically optional, and that is why we have been regarding this support zone for a wave 4 correction as a high probability structure, a high value trade setup. And if you value this support zone, these roadmaps that we provide here, I would recommend to subscribe as we will continue to track this chart throughout whichever interpretation, throughout whichever structure follows after. Now, in the previous video, we did provide you this support zone down to $17.75 that would have allowed a wave 5 to still form within this wave 5 in green. We were preferring to actually build this structure as an impulse, but we did outline many times that this would not be a guarantee and that even a diagonal structure could work out where we only needed an ABC pattern within a wave 5 to consider a top in place. Now, we have broken the last level of support and we did provide an idea of how this could unfold. Now, this structure is no longer useful. We will have new ideas for continuation to high prices. But yeah, we are looking for a larger ABC structure that could be taking place here very, very easily. So, in this wave C, I am looking to build a 5-wave pattern. And of course, we have the developments for that. We have provided even a resistance area internally that would have been a nice signal if it was broken, that this structure wouldn't extend directly lower, and we didn't break it. We identified an initial 3-wave move to the upside in this movement, yeah, and we were looking for a potential wave 4 correction, but it didn't happen either. That didn't hold either. We outlined that with a break below $19.6, this would be at high risk of extending to much lower prices, likely within this wave 5 in green. And of course, there would have been other opportunities to see a reversal as well, but they clearly did not happen. We clearly are looking at a quite severe extension to lower prices from that drop. Now, this is no longer useful either. And before we get into the details of this structure, I wanted to once again provide here the ideal target for a wave C. We already provided this throughout our videos, and this is the 100% extension of the wave A. And we would have just touched this perfectly yesterday, it seems. Now, this is assuming the wave A bottom has been here. I could track the wave A bottom to be here instead. We would be a bit off, but this was more of a general guidance, more of a general area where we would expect this wave C to get. We had previously not gotten even to the 78.6% extension, and usually it does reach at least that level within such a correction. Not every single time, there are always exceptions, but that is what we focus on this channel, right? Probabilities. The likelihood would have suggested further extensions to lower prices. So let's focus a bit on the idea of an extension within this wave 5. So I can track extensions both within an impulse that would be building in this area overall and within a diagonal structure. right? Within the idea of an impulse, I would have here a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This would be an overall impulse, but this wave 5 in green would be an ending diagonal. We will track this in white, and we would have a support zone to track for such an idea, for such continuation to high prices. But since it's only a 3-wave pattern to the upside, since it's not an initial 5-wave structure, we do not have any strong indication this would be a likely outcome, yes? There is no edge for us to look for this continuation to high prices. It's not a similar structure even with what we had in this green wave 4, where we knew with high likelihood we would see extension to high prices, but rather it's just one of the possible outcomes of this wave 5 in green. Now, if it is to build such a structure, we would expect to form the reversal while not getting a sustained break below $14.5, right? That is our last level of support, and a break below that would rather signal that this structure would likely have a more significant top in place. And in the more bullish interpretations, we would be looking for a larger wave 2 correction to already start. If this is to succeed, we would see a 3-wave pattern form within this wave 3. We would ideally get to the 138.2% extension of the wave 1, and we would get then a wave 4 and a wave 5 within yet another 3-wave pattern to complete this overall structure. Then, it is also possible to track something else, this idea of an ABC structure, in which case, well, I would be looking for an identical area of support, for which reason I will be tracking this support zone for continuation to high prices within this wave 5 in green, right? It works for both scenarios to track this support zone, and what else I would provide you is what to expect in case of a failure to hold the support zone for such a structure. And for this idea, I would expect to likely reach at least the 38.2% retracement, which is at $12.2. It is very much in line with the wave 4 bottom, and very often, this is actually very common for a wave 2, a large degree wave 2, to get into the territory of a smaller degree wave 4. So if I build a 5-wave pattern to the upside, let's say I have a wave 1, within the wave 2, I would typically expect to get into the wave 4 territory. Within more bullish structures, it is often a reversal point, but it's not always the case. And this support zone extends even as low as $5, and only with a break below that can we even start to dismiss this idea of a wave 1 to the upside and a wave 2 correction in this area. And the other scenarios that we would be able to track on the larger time frame would allow deeper retracements, but they are not more favorable really, and for now I believe it is best to focus on this idea. Now, let's get back to the smaller time frame. Let's get to this idea of a wave C in this structure, and let me actually track this in yellow. So in the orange scenario, we are looking to build a wave C in this structure. We are looking to build a 5-wave move to the downside, and within this 5-wave pattern, I can actually go even as far as to say that we are actually able to track a full pattern in this structure. We have been tracking the idea of an ending diagonal within the wave C, in which case we have a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up, a wave 3 down, a wave 4 up, and a wave 5. We have a 3-wave pattern within each of these subwaves, and I really do not need any further extensions. However, there is a bit of a warning sign. This wave 5 does seem to be at risk of extending to lower prices. This wave particularly is at risk of actually extending within a 5-wave pattern to the downside, which would force me even to look for this wave 3 to actually extend all the way down here, in which case I would need to look for a follow-up wave 4 correction and then a wave 5. Now, for this to be a valid interpretation, I would actually need to build a 5-wave pattern in this movement to the downside. So far, this is not the case. I would easily track this as an ABC movement at the moment, but it is something to consider if we continue in this structure in something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, we don't want to see a rather large wave 4 correction and then a wave 5. That would actually indicate we would likely see even further lows after a larger wave 4 correction. But currently, fortunately, it is not the case, and we can actually look for a reversal from these levels. But even internally within this structure, I would like to see a resistance level broken, yeah? Because in this 5-wave move within this wave 5, I'm looking to build an ending diagonal. So I would track here a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And within this wave 5, I would expect to build a 3-wave pattern. And in this 3-wave pattern, I would expect an A, B, C structure. Well, within the wave C, I would be looking to build a 5-wave pattern as always, but given how small of a time frame this is, it could be really the case that we will not get that last leg to the downside. Now, I wouldn't overthink it, but if we get the break above the wave 4 resistance area, it would be a good indication that this movement is complete, that we wouldn't see even further extensions, and that we would have likely completed this wave C. So this will be for a smaller time frame resistance area, a smaller time frame development to track. I will provide you, of course, a larger resistance area as well. And in this case, I would be outlining here the 61.8% retracement. This is what we want to see broken for a signal that this structure would not extend directly lower. So if we see a break above $17, it would be a healthy signal that this movement to the downside, this internal wave C, would be complete. And so far we can notice that we have only a 3-wave pattern basically into the 38.2% retracement. Now this is a very small time frame, but it is the ideal target for a wave 4. I'm not going to predict here which outcome will form. I could tell you though that this could be tracked even as an impulse, so already above the 50% retracement it would be a healthy signal, but it's within such a small time frame that it's basically the same level really. Now, for the more relevant resistance level to actually watch is for this idea of building an entire 5-wave pattern to the downside in this movement. For this, I would probably need to track something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Without breaking the relevant levels of resistance for such an expectation, up to $19.2, we are still at a risk of forming a wave C within a larger wave 3 in this structure. So let's say we track this interpretation in blue, and for this idea, yes, this wave 3 would have not bottomed, we would have a wave C currently unfolding, and within this wave C, we would be looking for a 5-wave pattern where we would expect to reach at least $17.4, but beyond that, only with a break above the 61.8% retracement can we really start to look for something rather more bullish. Now, I am aware that this structure is rather complicated and it might have been a little bit tougher to follow than most, but if you are to take anything away from this movement to the downside, is that the structure does have the possibility to be complete. It is able to form the reversal, but we would be waiting for evidence. We would like to see the resistance levels broken. If we get this extension in this wave C in orange, it wouldn't really affect the overall expectation. I would really only need to track further extensions to lower prices and adjust the larger area of resistance. But what I'm looking for is the larger time frame. I want to see a break above the resistance area for a wave 4. I want to see ideally an initial 5-wave move to the upside, and that would be my signal that this chart would once again provide an opportunity. Right now, we sure have a larger area of support, but as I was mentioning earlier in this video, it's not within a likely structure, right? Within the likely structure, we would have directly formed another high, and we would have had a more clearly complete structure. Currently, I need to consider this to potentially be a wave 5 top, but it's within such a weak structure that I would rather prefer that we see one of these extensions, either in yellow, either in white. It is my preference, but that doesn't mean we will see it, and we will have to wait for some further evidence on which scenario ends up following through. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and want to support us directly, check out our channel membership. And as a thank you for any of these actions, I would like to invite you to sign up to our channel newsletter, where you get access to our monthly top picks, where we identify for you high quality structures. The link for sign up is in the description, and it is completely free. Other than that, let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.